Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO of NSE, now with us on the show. Mr. Chauhan, very good afternoon to you and thank you for your time to NDTV Profit. We have so much to unpack with you. First of all, congratulations. The nod for the IPO has come, and a day after an increase in the STT. Is it thodi khushi, thodi gum, or is it all good?
No, for me, see, we have seen last 11 years a lot of increase in the options STT. This is a STT increase on futures more than the options in some ways. And it was expected also to the extent that there has been a lot of criticism of over speculation happening in Indian derivatives market. And that's where I think government probably had to show their displeasure by doing this. But broadly, it's a growing economy. We have seen the number of investors, even in last 11 years since Mr. Modi took over, has gone up 7.5, 8 times. Market capitalization has gone up also 7.5 times or so. And so overall, we see a lot of buoyancy, and even in future, this may continue.
What is the impact you expect of an increased STT on volumes already after the first set of restrictions on futures and options trading? We saw volumes slide about 30%, if I'm not mistaken. Do you see an even more impact on volumes after this slight increase in STT?
In the short run, of course, there will be volumes that will be affected. But what you have seen, the decrease in volume on NSE has reasons, because there were other measures taken by SEBI which brought down the volumes. Like Bank Nifty was taken out from the weekly into the monthly, and many other indexes were not allowed on a weekly basis. So this is not that radical going forward. So that's how I see that. It's basically something which government had to do by way of some sort of a action on tax side, which they have done.
Mr. Chauhan, this is Neeraj here. Good afternoon. Do you reckon that the overall volumes over the course of FY27, or let's say the next 2 or 3 years, would be made up for by higher participation? Because, as you said, like this is what, the 4th or the 5th time that the STT has been raised, or do you foresee an impact on the volumes in the near term?
Near term, certainly there will be some changes, because of the fact that many of the high frequency trading people would have to recalibrate their algorithms and other things, because all these numbers get input into their algorithms, and they have been running for the last 1 year. And so they will have to change that. But overall, in the long run, we don't see that kind of sort of a reduction staying there, because India has seen over the last 30 years, when NSE was set up, the number of trades per day, BSE was 10,000 trades a day. Today, on a good day, NSE does 30 crore trades, right? So it's a degree of difference, largely because of the larger number of people participating, but also the mobile phones and high-tech activities reaching into every hand. And that's where I think more and more people are participating in investments, as well as some amount of hedging through derivatives.
Mr. Chauhan, I mean, this budget is not just about STT, and we would love to talk to you about the other things too, but I have one more question, if you allow me. As per my memory, FY25 revenue for NSE from FNO was a fairly large sum relative to some of the other participants as well. Do you foresee the incremental, or let's say if you were to look out of the next couple of years, do you reckon that because of all of these moves that are happening, that the derivative instruments-led revenue for NSE will come off as a proportion of your overall revenue in the next 24 months?
It remains to be seen. I don't think currently the numbers which have been increased are that large to have a long-term impact.
Okay, fair call. A word on the budget as well. We've towed the line of fiscal consolidation meaningfully. They have stayed to those red lines, but there's an increase in capex relative to the revised estimates for FY26. Overall, the focus seems to be back on capital expenditure and not as much on consumption as was the last budget. Would that be a fair assessment, and would that be the right thing to do according to you?
Broadly speaking, if you see, look back 25, 27 years, whenever BJP governments are there, they are very fiscally conservative. They tend to be hawks in many ways. And even Mr. Modi's 11 years or Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman's 9 years of budget, you have seen they have been very, very conservative compared to not only the past Indian governments, but also the rest of the world. Today, if you look at America, their debt to GDP ratio is going to be 120%. Japan is about 200%. We are going towards from 55% to 54% next year, and then 50% in next 2-3 years. So it's a very different trajectory at which we seem to be moving. And it's also going to help you bring more investments because there is a predictability. It reduces inflation that comes out of shocks from the rest of the world. And so overall, I think their strategy has been always about being fiscally responsible. And I appreciate most of the money they spend now are on improving infrastructure, which is going to also help create more jobs, because once you have ports and airports and roads and electricity reaching out to every nook and corner, you are able to also create factories and other things in remotest areas, and that's basically with all the FTAs with EU
we are seeing
Japan
Finance
and
Minister
New Zealand
preparing to speak at the press conference. Before she starts speaking, very quickly, Mr. Chauhan, the nod has come. What is the timeline to your mind of the IPO? The mother of all IPOs, as it's being described. Hitting?
It should happen probably 3 to 4 months for us to, 3 to 4 months for us to do the RHP and DRHP, and then 3 to 4 months more for SEBI to clear that. So probably 7 to 8 months is what I am expecting.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali in advance.